What is up, my friends, and welcome to UFL Week in Review, one of the longest running UFL podcasts in human history. This is show number 37, and it's packed with UFL offseason news. We've got a special interview with Ken Whisenhunt and Daryl Moose Johnson about the future of the Showboats, plus the UFL returns March 28th. We've got that, and we'll cover, of course, the tragic loss of DeAndre Overton. Also, in this week's notes section, we'll talk about season ticket renewals, arena football, and more. Also, we got an update about me and Dawn and how things are going in our world. So without further ado, let's just get into the week of the UFL and straight into the interview.
Here we go.
These players are going to play hard-nosed, intense football, passionate football.
Corner of the end zone! On the money!
Every play matters.
They're going to ball out.
Touchdown! Look at this crowd. I mean, they are into this. For the win. He's got it!
Spring football is here to stay.
Excited to be a part of this. I have, over the years, as this has grown, one of the things I think that's been missing from what I've done for so long, which is pro football, is an ability to develop younger players to get them ready, because it's just so hard to do that. And I've been so intrigued by how that's being done. And I really respect the way that they've done this with the UFL. And I'm excited to do that. I think we bring a lot to the table as far as giving the players the knowledge of what they need to do to get to that level and stick. But I think also, it can create a great environment for our fans. So I'm excited to be a part of this and expecting to, work hard and have a good team and hopefully get our fans rolling.
It's very similar to kind of our situation with Mike Nolan from Legacy USFL. You get a phone call from somebody you've had the opportunity to work with as a broadcaster for a number of years, and looked forward to the production meetings. You could tell about his passion of the game, the success he had, at each stop he was at. So when Ken called, I was very, very excited and hopeful that he was calling in regards to the Memphis opening. So when he let me know that it was something that he would love the opportunity to compete for and to be a part of the UFL moving forward, because everything he just said, there is, and we walk this fine line on this point all the time. We are a standalone professional football league, but we understand the developmental component that we can provide for our players, and it has gotten more in need in today's game than at any point. The reduction in time on task in the collegiate game, the reduction in time and task at the NFL level, because you're moving on to the next stage. If you don't grab somebody's attention as a new player immediately, it's the bus is not going to wait very long for you. So, our ability to have those players come into the UFL family and get them around coaches like Ken Whisenhunt, and then to know his connections throughout the football world and what that staff is going to look like. And we always talk about trying to get the best coaches who are the best teachers that have the best contacts on our staffs in the UFL, because that's those little details, and you hear it from our guys all the time. There's a big push right now in the NFL, and you've seen the success from Detroit, and you've seen the success with the start that Washington has had, with staffs that have former players on their staff, and you can teach them the subtleties, the little nuances of the positions that you've acquired during your playing years. And so when you get people to be a part of your family, when they have a number of years in their background as a player, as a coach at multiple positions and multiple levels, that knowledge that he's going to be able to share with our players is something that's hard to replicate. So I look at the opportunity to have Ken Whisenhunt be a part of the UFL family, something very similar, with a Mike Nolan, who's similar in those regards. And to me, it continues to validate what everybody is doing in the UFL, all the hard work that's put in by so many people, some people, in front of the scenes, some people behind the scenes, but this continues to validate, what we're building with the UFL. When you get somebody of the caliber of Ken Whisenhunt reaching out and asking if there's an opportunity for him with that Memphis job to interview for the head coaching position.
Hi, everyone. I got two questions for you, one for Coach and then one for Daryl. So for Coach, when do you think you're going to announce your coaching staff, and what do you think your coaching staff will look like? You'll have veteran coaches? Will you have some young up-and-coming people?
You know what? I think a little bit of both. I've been besieged by people wanting opportunities to come here and do this. So as with anything, you're always going to go through these guys. There's some some you don't. Some you're getting off of recommendations, but we've had a lot of assistants that have worked with us that have gone on to head coaching jobs. So I think it's exciting to be in that thing again where we're going to be able to help some guys improve and move up. And I'm excited about the process. We've got some ideas, but it's a process. I think that you don't want to try to rush. You want to try to make sure that you can get the best guys and the ones that can give the most. And some of it's going to be guys that maybe are in the league already or in positions to do that, and some of it may be some guys from former NFL guys, or even some guys from the NFL. I've had some guys that are on a current NFL team that have expressed interest. So, some of that is, we're just going to have to see how it all works out, to be honest with you.
Gotcha. And then for Daryl, do you want us to talk about Jim Monos and bringing him on as a GM in the UFL?
Yeah. Obviously, very comfortable with the experience that Doug Whaley and Russ Brandon had with him, bringing him to Buffalo. I think the biggest thing for me was talking to Mickey Loomis, and Mickey saying, I didn't want to lose Jim, but I did not have the opportunity to elevate him on our staff. All I could do was give him a lateral move, and I didn't want to do that to him. I wanted him to have this opportunity, but Mickey did not want to lose him. He felt he was one of the better evaluators on the staff at that time. I've talked to Doug Marrone, who was with him in New Orleans. Every coach I talked to had the same perspective on Jim Monos. So I think we're getting somebody who was probably one of the key people in the 2009 Super Bowl championship New Orleans Saints, kind of helped along that line. I think Jari Evans might be one of the guys that Jim was big on, that got to New Orleans. And you're talking about a guy that means he's very familiar with the small schools. Very similar to Steve Kaiser up in Michigan. I mean, Steve can go out and mine these little schools and pulls out great players. He did the same thing for the Rams in the NFL. So, I envision Jim being one of those guys, at least no stone unturned. Has great connections down into some of the smaller schools, which are important to us in the UFL. I think it's fun to watch the different ways the general managers approach building their roster, and how much they incorporate the smaller schools with an athlete who's very unique at that level. And we wonder why sometimes they didn't get an opportunity to play at a higher level. So I'm really excited for Ken to have the opportunity to work with Jim. A lot of people in the personnel department already familiar with Jim and having had the opportunity to work with him. My conversation with him, along with Russ Brandon through the interview process, I was extremely impressed. So, I think that this is going to be an opportunity for Memphis to really be propped up on a really strong foundation with Ken and Jim. And one of the great things, and I know this has been a question here, to Ken, in regards to the roster, Dennis Polian has offered, anything that he can do from an assistant standpoint to help the guys get up to speed. And that shows that we bring in the right type of people to the UFL family. They love football. They want to see this venture be successful. And even when their path has ended with us and the page is turned and they're on to the next chapter in their life, they stay connected back to us. And for Dennis to offer that, to be able to help Coach get up to speed as quick as possible, to help Jim get a start on his evaluation of what the roster looks like, is going to be very, very helpful, getting this Showboats team off to a great start.
What the goals are of this franchise after even just being here a couple of days. And that's from talking with Russ and Daryl. I think, to hit on what he said, it's a great point that, they're much further along than they were last year. But what I would say for our fans and what we'd like to get going forward is that we're focused on being successful and winning. That's the thing that brings everybody together, and we're going to work our tails off to do that. I think that we haven't got a defensive staff right now yet, but I know offensively the product that we're going to put out there is some of the same ones you see on Sundays now. And, we're going to try to get the players that can make that work. But I'm super excited, even because of what Daryl said about how much further along they are this year, that we can put a product on the field that will make Memphis happy. That's something that's important to me. I've said that a couple of times in this already, how important I think the relationship between the team and the fans is. And it's something that is important to me, and that's going to be made known to our players. And, it's going to be something that we work hard. I mean, obviously it's about winning, and that's what we want to do. But I think it's also a little bit about your team and your fans and how they bond together as well.
Breaking news, Ken Whisenhunt named Memphis Showboats head coach. So the United Football League has announced that Ken Whisenhunt as the new head coach of the Memphis Showboat. The league also announced that Jim Monos as the team's new general manager. We'll get to them in a second. Quote, we're thrilled to add both Ken and Jim to our UFL, to the UFL to lead the Memphis Showboats franchise, said Russ Brandon. Both men bring deep football credentials and pedigree to our league as we can continue to build our football ecosystem. Also said, we are very excited to welcome Ken Whisenhunt and Jim Monos to the UFL family. Executive Vice President of Football Operations, Daryl Moose Johnston, we were worried about, we haven't heard from him for a little bit. Jim was part of the New Orleans Saints personnel department when they won the Super Bowl, and Ken was the offensive coordinator with Pittsburgh when they won the Super Bowl. And as head coach was 35 seconds from leading the Arizona Cardinals to a championship over the Steelers in another Super Bowl. The Showboats have two foundational pieces in place as they prepare for UFL Season 2. Whisenhunt has an extensive coaching background, including 2 stints as head coach in the National Football League, that other league that people kind of talk about, and a Super Bowl championship as offensive coordinator with the Steelers. My wife will be happy about that. He says, quote, I'm truly excited about this opportunity. I have been watching these leagues over the past few years and amazed at how things have grown in advance. I'm looking forward to working with these young men. I know how important it is for them to have an opportunity to play professional football and have the possibility of getting to the NFL or back to the NFL. And then also I have known, he also included, I have known and respected Russ Brandon and Daryl Johnson for many years, he added, so I'm truly excited about the opportunity to work with them and be part of the United Football League. So Whisenhunt was the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals for 6 seasons, 2007 to 2012, winning 2 NFC West championships, 2008 and 2009, and an NFC championship and berth in the Super Bowl following the, I don't know how to do all that, XLIII, whatever that one is, following the 2008 season. In addition, he served as head coach of the Tennessee Titans only for 2 years, 2014 to 2015. Whisenhunt earned a Super Bowl championship ring as offensive coordinator with the Steelers, who won Super Bowl XL. Following the 2006 season, he was on the Steelers staff for 6 seasons, beginning as a tight ends coach in 01 to 03 before promoted to offensive coordinator 01, and a role that he held until the 2006 season. Most recently, he was a special assistant to the head coach under Nick Saban at the University of Alabama in 23. Spent 2 seasons, 21 and 22, with Penn State University as an offensive analyst. Most recent stint in the NFL was offensive coordinator of the Chargers from 2016 to 2019 and served in that capacity for the Chargers in 2013. He's also coached for the Jets and the special teams in 2000, Cleveland Browns in 1999, Baltimore Ravens, my team, 1997 and 98 as tight ends. Whisenhunt also got his start in coaching with Vanderbilt University, where he coached special teams, tight ends, and H-backs in 95 and 96. Whisenhunt was an 8-year player in the NFL, playing tight end, H-back for the Falcons at 85 to 88, Washington, 89-90, and the Jets, 91-92. He played his collegiate football at Georgia Tech. Was also a two-time first-team All-ACC selection at tight end and earned honorable mention All-American honors as a senior in 1984. New Showboats general manager Monos is no stranger to professional football with experience in NFL and spring leagues. Served as a senior director of football operations with the XFL in 2022 and 2023. He was a name that we heard about a lot. He was on a podcast. A friend of his has a podcast, and they talked about it, and then he just kind of disappeared, and I wasn't even sure if he was still with the XFL or it was a short stint, but apparently he was there in 2022 and 2023. Also served director of player personnel for the San Diego Fleet of the Alliance of American Football, so he's familiar with spring leagues. Also served as director of player personnel for the Buffalo Bills. There's that connection. 2013 to 2017. Among the players drafted by Monos during his time with the Bills were Sammy Watkins, Matt Molino, Deion Dawkins, and Tre'Davious White. He says, that's about it there. Earlier in his career, served as an area scout for the New Orleans Saints, where he earned a Super Bowl ring following the 2010 season. Served in the same role with the Eagles as well. There is where you have it. So Ken Whisenhunt was not a name out there. I'll give you the name that I had heard, that the league reached out to Jim Haslett, and he said no. I kind of teased that in a prior video. And then we were kind of hearing that they weren't going to kind of go maybe with, were they going to go with new guys, where they were going to go with veteran coaches. And you could see from this, now clearly getting Ken Whisenhunt probably wasn't cheap either. So that was kind of surprising. You know, you have these guys that, you know, some of these guys that college coaches that we've kind of never heard of before, but Ken Whisenhunt is a name, and it's kind of a big name. Jim Monos, I mean, had a lot of time in the NFL, was part of the XFL already, so bringing him in isn't too big of a surprise. I've heard that he's kind of been underway for a while now. You've seen a lot of the Showboats already making moves, that he was kind of already, there was somebody orchestrating that thing, and it was him. But Ken Whisenhunt is a big name, a guy that we've never really even talked about in the spring football realm. You know, he doesn't have that Buffalo Bills connection that Jim Monos has, but clearly I think this is a pretty big get for the Memphis Showboats. And I mean, an offensive guy. He is not a defensive guy, he's an offensive guy. And I mean, I think this is kind of a big name. Kudos to the UFL. It'd be interesting. You know, they weren't giving like new guy shots. You know, you had the Hines Ward and then, you know, Terrell Buckley. I mean, you have guys even that they brought in. The coach that was going to take over for the doctor, and you guys are going to beat me up for what his name is. That was the defensive coordinator. There's other coordinator. I mean, was the defensive coordinator at the end for the Birmingham Stallions. You had guys, you know, that were coaching as part of in the UFL, that were assistant coaches, like those guys. So they went with a name guy, Ken Whisenhunt. Now, be curious of how he fills out his staff. Will be kind of the next thing, the shoe to drop, that we'll have to find out. But Ken Whisenhunt, Memphis Showboats, you show your boatman. What do you think of your new head coach? I actually am pretty excited about this, and I think this is a great get for the UFO. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious to see what fans think of the hiring of Ken Whisenhunt to the Memphis Showboat.
Houston put the stamp on this one. Ali leads and he's in!
Overthrows and it's picked off. He's going all the way.
On the run, back of the end zone, open is Braden Bowman. 2 more on the board, and Houston's got an 11-3 lead.
So the Houston Roughnecks, as you saw from that teaser video, are returning to TDECU Stadium. The UFL broke this news on the 12th. They said they announced, of course, that the University of Houston's TDECU Stadium is a familiar place to the Houston Roughnecks. They return, quote, an exciting new chapter for the Houston Roughnecks. We're thrilled to return to the University of Houston's newly renovated TDECU Stadium, said Russ Brandon, partnership with the University of Houston has been a highlight in our spring football journey, and we can't wait to build on the electric atmosphere we experienced in 2020 and 2023 at TD Stadium. Their state-of-the-art venue will surely elevate our game day experience and deepen our connection with our Houston community. So the big question when it comes to this, of course, and it's just quotes and quotes and quotes, is actually, will it help attendance? The Houston Roughnecks of 2023 drew a lot better than the Houston Roughnecks of last year. So this will be, will it make a difference? Will it won't? We'll just have to find out. But we knew that this was rumblings and that we knew that basically Rice Stadium was a temporary home and that they would come back to University of Houston. That's all well and good. There was some rumblings that maybe they might move around in Houston, but that didn't come to fruition. So TD Stadium is hopefully, and we hope, my wife and I have been talking about, hopefully making a trip to Houston. Houston is a destination we might want to check out, or St. Louis for the UFL. And so we're excited to, if we have a chance to check out TD Stadium. But we'll see. Will attendance be better next year or this coming season than last year? We'll just have to stay tuned and find out. All right, we've got an announcement on September 17th. The United Football League will return March 28th. We were talking about that in our last video, if you didn't see it, and our article, that we knew that there was some kind of announcement coming this week. We thought it would be a little bit more than what we got, but still, it's still basically the beginning. Let's get into it. So the United Football League today announced that the return date for the season, which is what we were kind of telling you, UFL will kick off beginning March 28th. March 28th is not a Saturday, and it's not a Sunday. I'm looking it up right now. March 28th is a Friday. That's right. Friday games are now on Fox. So the league's 2025 season will kick off on a new night, adding Friday night football to its spring schedule. Broadcast partners, of course, ESPN, ABC, and Fox will once again broadcast all UFL games. No mention of FS1.
Here we go.
These players are going to play hard-nosed, intense football, passionate football.
Corner of the end zone. On the money.
Every play matters.
They're going to ball out.
Touchdown. Look at this crowd. I mean, they are into this. For the win. He's got it.
Spring football is here to stay.
Quote, adding Friday nights to our spring football schedule speaks to how strong our league has become, said President and CEO Russ Brandon. Our teams have been working diligently this offseason to prepare for 2025. Yes, they have, and look forward to bringing that work to life and sharing it with our fans in season 2. Some other things. So the UFL season will consist, of course, 10-week regular season schedule, followed by the conference championship games and the UFL championship game on Saturday, June 14th. I was wondering maybe they might move it to Friday, but no. The Saturday, June 14th will be the championship game. Hopefully a lot more fun than the last one. In addition, next season's schedule, of course, will feature 10 Friday night games broadcast on Fox. And there you have it there, and you can get your season tickets as well. And you saw the little teaser video earlier. A couple things to note. From what I'm hearing is not all teams in the UFL will actually have Friday night games. There's issues with venues, etc. So that's something that you're going to need to keep an eye on. But yeah, from what I'm hearing is that not everybody's getting a Friday night game. Also, they didn't mention anything about the UFL championship, what's going on with the Memphis Showboats coaching situation. I can tell you from things that I've heard that the league did reach out to former XFL coach who turned down the position, XFL 2023, and I'll just leave it at that, and maybe you can figure out who it is. That's what I've heard, but I've also heard that the Memphis Showboats have a GM in place. So we haven't got an official announcement. I thought there would be a little bit more meat to the bones, so to speak, when it comes to the announcement, but we've got March 28th to kick off. We've got Friday night games, and of course, the June 14th Saturday championship game, with all signs are pointing to DC Defenders home, Audi Field, America's team home. Is that where's the championship game will be? I'm surprised they didn't put that in there. But again, those are kind of the things that I'm hearing. So excited. I know it's NFL season, so nothing about draft or even kind of a big schedule thing. It was kind of a little bit more lighter than what I had hoped for. But again, we're right in the middle of the NFL season. Hopefully in October, we get some more information to start getting excited about the league. But right now, America is all about the NFL. So I understand maybe not put a bunch of things out there. You're not going to get a big run, but maybe as fans, fantasy football teams start to go away and, they start losing interest, that maybe they'll start to crank it up for the UFL. But again, we return March 28th, Friday night, for our first game of the UFL season. What do you think? Are you excited? Make sure you like and subscribe and leave us a comment about the schedule and what do you think? On a sad note, UFL player DeAndre Overton dies in a shooting. He was only 26 years of age. So he's a former Clemson wide receiver, played with the Memphis Showboats and the UFL. Apparently, the incident occurred during a house party in Greensboro, North Carolina. So Boats wide receiver DeAndre Overton, as a name that I've seen, going through all these spring leagues, died in a shooting incident on September 7th. The Guilford County Sheriff's Office responded to a call about a loud house party at 3205 Spring Mill Road at 2:30 a.m. Upon arrival, deputies discovered that a shooting had occurred, finding Overton shot at the scene. Despite medical aid efforts, Overton was pronounced dead at the location. Just tragic news. The UFL released a statement, and the Showboats expressing their grief. They said the United Football League and the Memphis Showboats are heartbroken and mourn the tragic loss of DeAndre Overton. Our hearts and prayers go out to DeAndre's family, friends, and teammates. We send our sincere condolences during this difficult time. The investigation suggests that it was an isolated incident, with the Guilford County Sheriff's treating it as an active and ongoing homicide investigation. Overton's football career spanned multiple leagues and teams. He played college football at Clemson University from 2016 and 2019, contributing to 2 national championship victories. During his time at Clemson, Overton caught 55 passes for 77 yards and 7 touchdowns. His senior year being his most productive, 22 catches, 352 yards, and 5 score. After going undrafted in 2020, pursued opportunities in various leagues, spent time with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in 2021, but he didn't appear in any games. Then played with the Vienna Vikings of the European League of Football before joining the UFL's Philadelphia Stars in 2022 and 2023. In the UFL, he made significant contributions over 2 seasons, 533 yards and 5 touchdowns. He was part of the Stars team that reached the USFL championship game in 2020, narrowly losing to the Birmingham Stallions 33-30, a game which I was at. Following that merger, Overton initially signed with the Maulers, but then he joined the Showboats for the 2024 season. Didn't play much with the Showboats, played in 7 games, but only had 3 catches and 33 yards. Again, the news of Overton's death resonated deeply in the football community. His former teammate, Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins, expressed this on Instagram. Said, "Bro, I miss you already, man. I love you, 5L. I'm hurting bad about this right now." So sad. Clemson University also put out a tribute to him on their social media stuff as well. So again, just unnecessary thing to happen to a young guy. I mean, we just, again, thoughts and prayers to Overton, family, friends, teammates. Just a sad, senseless act. But it's just, wait, what can you say? It's just sad. And hopefully, next season, the Memphis Showboats will kind of, maybe have 16 on their helmets or something like that. But again, just a sad situation here, an unnecessary situation.
Welcome to Pulse AI Solutions, where cutting-edge AI technology meets business innovation. Are you a small to medium-sized business looking to transform your operations and stay ahead of the competition? At Pulse AI Solutions, we specialize in AI consulting, delivering custom solutions tailored to your unique needs. Our team of experts designs and implements AI-driven strategies that boost efficiency and drive growth. From AI integration to tech innovation, we provide comprehensive support every step of the way. Join the revolution. Our custom AI solutions are designed to help businesses like yours thrive in the digital age. Experience the future of business with Pulse AI Solutions. Visit us at pulseaisolutions.com and transform your business today.
All right, we are back. Some news and notes we've got for you. Michigan Panthers season ticket renewals began this week. Open the 2025 season ticket renewals, so renew their membership, exclusive benefits. We're hearing that Ford Field will be back. That's kind of where they'll be back. There was some chatter maybe about them moving to somewhere else in Michigan, but from everything we're hearing is that Ford Field is back in the deal. So season ticket members who renew by October 22nd will receive special Michigan Panthers coaster set. Oh, that's cool. Priority access to renew seats 2023. They get merchandise discount, season ticket pricing, playoffs, events, all that fun stuff. Also, the Showboats, they've got their coach now. But before that, they announced that the season ticket will be able to be renewed at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Current season ticket members will receive a step-by-step instructions on how to renew their seats for 2025. So let's show out Boatman. Same thing. They've got this one's got different seatings, premium chargeback seats, $250, sideline chairback seats, $175, bleacher seats for $100. Of course, priority entry to dedicated entrance for season ticket holders. You get on-field experiences, gift, mystery box. I'll take the boat. No, I'll take the mystery box, and hopefully the mystery box is a boat. Anybody know the reference of that? Family Guy episode. Love Family Guy. So all the information there is on UFL News Hub, as well as the Arena Football League is no more. Now it's called Arena Football 1, AF1. Remember there was this whole thing where there was all these issues, and then the CEO took over, and then the CEO left and Jeff Fisher's took over. So now Jeff Fisher is back as the commissioner of the Arena Football, where they will return in 2025, and called Arena Football 1 as a new organization with founding members of AF1 will also welcome a number of expansion teams and emerging markets. Something that we're keeping an eye on that, but just instability for the Arena Football League, but now they're AF1. We're still Indoor Football League, IFL. I prefer them over this league. And we wanted to get more into it, but again, resources, money, we just didn't have, the bandwidth right now to kind of dive into that stuff. But if the site makes more money this year, which I'm hopefully it will, then we will definitely put in more effort to covering some of these other leagues. So there you have it. So Arena Football League is no more. It is now Arena Football 1. If you're interested, let's get to the emails. First up, Adam, do you feel that Josh Rosen would ever want to play in the UFL? Others like Jake Fromm and Jacob Eason signed with the Packers ever want to get the reps they are missing out on now by joining the UFL? It'll be interesting to see who comes back for the UFL. I mean, with the whole Ken Whisenhunt signing, I assume that, he's getting paid a little bit. All the valuations that are going on with the, soccer league teams. And I think the league is feeling pretty good. I don't think they're going to remember there's still a union thing going on. We covered that at last episode. So we'll see if maybe these guys get a little pay raise. I don't think so this season, but definitely in the future. But yeah, I mean, if you want reps, the UFL is where you can go. You could see how many players made it to training camp, got an opportunity to play in the NFL. And if that's what they're wanting to do, great. If then they also want to make some money on the side, remember, even though these guys are getting paid $60,000 or $70,000, it is for 6 months of work. It's not a full year job. They only play 10 games. I have a feeling that the league will probably need to increase the amount of games if they want to. I don't know about that on the CFL side of things, but increase capacity, because there's only, if you're an owner, you only get 5 games. That's less than what an NFL franchise gets. So it'll be interesting to see, if you want to get paid more, do you play more games? But then that would tie into getting too close to the NFL season. They've never talked about adding more than 10-week season, but it's just something as far as revenue goes and more pay. you need to play more games. So something to keep in mind there. Rich checking in. He says, first, hello, I pray for you and your wife are doing well with her health and you and your job. Give an update if you would next podcast. I will. Second, what the heck is up with the Roughnecks? I see they're returning to Houston, University of Houston, TD ECU Stadium, but look at the UFL shop. Everything but the polos are on sale. No other team has this, and that's interesting. I'm sure that will all come online, that they're returning. No worries there. I'm not too concerned. Rich C. College draft picks occurred, hoping the Stallions got the shaft and picked mostly from Nebraska. We have had a rough decade. Thanks for everything. Rich checking in. Rich, I appreciate the email asking about my wife and myself. Well, I'll give you a good update to close out the show. And this is a God thing. You know, I'm a Christian guy. I'm not going to hide it. I'm somebody who was a devout atheist, decided to dip my toe in the water, and it really kind of changed my life. So we got the report like 2 Fridays ago that basically she's in remission. And the chances that she doesn't need to get a stem cell transplant are really good. Now, nothing has been 100% confirmed, but nobody's pushing it. Nobody's like, hey, we got to do something. So the results from her tests came in. That was 2 Fridays ago. My last day of work at my current job is actually this Friday. So 2 Fridays ago in the morning, we got the report. I ran it through ChatGPT, and it said that basically she's in remission and the meds are working. And I would assume that she's just going to go into maintenance mode with these meds. I mean, it was the first time she took off this week from actually going in and getting shots. So, I mean, God is good, and we were happy with that result, and we'll keep you posted on her, but she's doing well. I mean, just aside from being tired, she's out and about doing things and running around and with kids stuff and social scene. So she's doing good. God is good. Within a couple hours of that, I also got the word that I also have a new job. Yes, the same day, within hours, that I got a new position, make more money, better opportunity. So kind of, I think I'll have to time my timing and stuff when it comes to the league with the UFL, but that's UFL News Hub is not going anywhere. So yeah, I got a job, and found out my wife is in remission on the same day. That is not a coincidence, my friends. That is not luck. That is not dumb luck or anything. I think that's God looking out and answering our prayers and your prayers as well too. So, but yeah, I appreciate it. She's doing good. I mean, it is, we take it day by day, and, aside from being tired and taking naps, which is something she didn't do, we're hopeful that going into the fall that it's just going to be maintenance mode. We have planned a trip. We want to do UFL games. And then, we'll kind of, hopefully they just kind of check her every 3 months or every 6 months, see cause they have to do a bone marrow test. So the blood work all is coming back is that there's nothing in it. And then the bone marrow test even came back and said that there was no traces of this multiple myeloma there as well. So we're still going to get out the things for giving blood. I've been donating plasma ever since. But we appreciate all your thoughts and prayers. And yeah, that's some good news there on the personal side. So yes, very blessed. God is good. The other thing I wanted to talk about is we have the UFL News Hub app for Android is out. I'm in the middle of working on and putting the finishing touches on an iPhone app. I should have it out in the next 2 weeks, as barring Apple doesn't reject it, but it is really cool. It's got the schedule, it's got the standings, it's got league leaders and your news, and you can click on do all stuff. It will give you alerts. And so this is the foundation model that we'll build that will hopefully then go towards, the CFL News Hub will have one, and some of my other sites. But yes, I've been using basically ChatGPT, Claude, and I bought a Mac Mini. So actually I can code on my own machine. I was using a remote machine to do it. And then we tried during the season to use Microsoft's .NET MAUI, which no relation to the Rock, which allows you to write code, one stack of code that can work for Android and iPhone, but it was not working well. And I was doing it remotely. So I have a Mac Mini now, and and a Mac phone. So like now I can test, and so we're working towards that. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, we'll have an iPhone version of all this stuff. And this will be great because we can get feedback, and then you just tell me what you want and I can build it and it'll be good. So yeah, we're getting close to that as well. That's it for this week. This month, my friends, we've got October. Hopefully we get a draft. We've got coaches in place. Maybe we find out more about this union thing. And then, we just start cranking up and getting closer towards kickoff in March. There's supposed to be some more announcements coming in October. So stay tuned for that, my friends. As always, appreciate you guys. If you want to be part of the show, you can call 888-430-7692 extension 3 or email us podcast@uflnewshub.com. Let us know your thoughts on Ken Whisenhunt. That was a big get. Nobody out there sitting and saying that was a horrible coach, and you got to hear from him and Daryl Moose Johnson themselves. So, well, and a lot of people in the surveys wanted more interviews, so we'll definitely be doing that on the website and on the content site as well. All right, that's it for me, folks. As always, God bless, and I will see you all later.